The answer to whether you should use a weightlifting belt comes down to essentially this right here. What do you intend to do in the gym? If you intend to use one of these, a barbell, free weights, and you intend to do the big lifts, specifically squat and deadlift, the answer is almost certainly yes. For many other things, the answer will be no, and we'll explain in this video. I have to quickly cover a couple of things. The first is that when you're doing a squat or a deadlift and you're going to execute it safely, you have to set your back in rigid extension and it has to maintain that position throughout the lift. You don't want to be changing the position of your spine during the lift. The way you do that is you brace this right here. You brace your core. When you begin the lift, you take your breath, you brace this, and you maintain your back position throughout the lift. What a belt does is it enhances that brace that you are able to do on your own. When you take the breath, instead of expanding out, you've now got something to push against. So it enhances the brace that you are already doing on your own. For this to work, the belt does have to have some qualities. Very specifically, the belt itself has to be very rigid because what we're trying to do is brace against something that doesn't move. There are thin belts, there are cheap belts, Velcro belts, those kinds of things that if you brace against them, they will stretch and move out of the way. And that defeats the purpose of what we're trying to do. One of the main questions people ask is, when is it time to start using a belt? The answer to that I give is, if you are at a point where you can execute the lift, whether it's a squat, an overhead press, a deadlift, when you can execute that movement with proper form without a belt, and on the next workout, you can go up in weight and again, execute the lift properly without a belt, you're ready to use one. The thing with a belt is that it does have the ability to change the mechanics of your lift a bit because of where it sits on your body and what it does. You need to have learned what the lift feels like and what it looks like if you're videoing yourself or if you've got a coach looking at you, what it looks like when it's done properly before you start using the belt. It's not a specific weight, it's not a specific amount of time. If you have been able to execute the lift properly with proper form over a couple of sessions, increasing in weight with no problem, you're ready to use a belt and ready to get the benefits from it. Do weightlifting belts help prevent injury? The answer on that is mostly no. If you are not using proper form, proper technique, or you're trying to do something that's beyond your means, a weightlifting belt is not going to save you. It's not going to help you in that instance. If you are using proper technique, proper form, a weightlifting belt will assist you in doing so. You should never think of a weightlifting belt as, well, now I've got my belt on, I'm safe. That's not the way to think about it. The weightlifting belt will help you if you're already doing the lift properly. The key being, you must already be doing the lift properly. People will ask, is a weightlifting belt cheating? A weightlifting belt is not cheating in the same way that using weightlifting shoes are not cheating, in the same way that using wrist wraps are not cheating, in the same way, frankly, that using a barbell is not cheating. These are all training aids. The point is to increase the load in a systematic fashion so that we gain strength. And all of these things I mentioned are aids to help us do that. It doesn't weaken your core to use a weightlifting belt because it is not doing anything that you are not already doing yourself. You are doing the brace. This is giving you something to brace against. It's a training aid. It's not cheating. After all, it's allowed in all of the powerlifting, weightlifting federations, just as many other things are. Hope this video was helpful. If it was, please like and subscribe. Also, if you want to check out our belts, DominionStrengthTraining.com. We make our belts right here in our shop in Florida. We make them as we discussed before, to not stretch, so they actually perform the function that they're supposed to, that when you brace, they give you something to brace against. Thanks for watching. See you next time.